Scene start. Int bedroom, night. The scene opens on Tom, mid-40s, sitting on the edge of his bed in a dimly lit room. He winces, rubbing a sharp, persistent pain in his neck. The only light source is a single bedside lamp, casting long, flickering shadows that dance on the walls. Clara, his wife, sits motionless in a nearby armchair, her face partially obscured by the darkness. Her eyes are wide, fixed on Tom with an unnerving, unblinking intensity. The air is thick with unspoken tension. Tom, voice strained, massaging his neck. "It's this damn crick again. Feels like a hot poker just lodged in there. You ever get that feeling?" Clara doesn't respond. She just stares. Her silence is more unsettling than any answer could be. Tom forces a weak laugh, trying to break the heavy quiet. "Tomchikant, right, well, I'm sure it'll pass. Just a long day." Part 2. The impossible call. Clara finally shifts, her expression unchanging. Her voice is unnervingly calm, almost detached. "Clara, we should visit my father's grave tomorrow. It's been a while." Tom nods slowly, thrown by the sudden suggestion. Before he can reply, the sharp, jarring ring of Clara's phone cuts through the silence. The phone is on the nightstand, its screen glowing brightly. Tom glances at it. The caller ID is stark and impossible. "My dad." A cold dread washes over him. His heart hammers against his ribs. Clara makes no move to answer it. After another piercing ring, she gestures toward the phone with a subtle nod. "Clara?" Conted. "Aren't you going to get that?" "He's calling for you." Hesitantly, Tom picks up the phone. His hand trembles as he swipes to answer and brings it to his ear. A crackling, faint voice, raspy and dry like decaying leaves, whispers from the other end. It is unmistakably the voice of his father-in-law, a man who died 2 years ago. Voice, OS, whispering, "Tommy, why haven't you been to see me?" Part 3. Descent into chaos. Tom drops the phone as if it's scalding hot. He stumbles back, his breathing ragged. He turns to look for Clara, but she's no longer in the armchair. He hears a faint, wet sound from the adjoining kitchen, followed by a low, guttural giggle that evolves into a full-blown, maniacal laugh. He cautiously moves towards the kitchen doorway. The sight that greets him is sickening. Clara stands over the sink, her hands and forearms drenched in thick, dark blood. She's tearing at a piece of raw meat with her teeth, her eyes wild and ecstatic, blood smearing her chin. She looks up at him and grins, a piece of gristle caught between her teeth. Tom recoils in horror and scrambles for the front door, desperate for escape. He bursts outside into the night, but the world is wrong. The familiar lines of his suburban home are twisted and distorted, the roof sagging impossibly, the windows looking like weeping eyes. A glistening trail of blood leads from his doorstep down the warped and broken pavement. Part 4. The horrific gathering. Drawn by an unseen force, Tom finds himself compelled back inside. The interior is no longer his home, but a grotesque caricature of a family dinner. His extended family is gathered around a long dining table, all turning to greet him in unison. Their smiles are too wide, their eyes too bright, stretching their faces into terrifying masks of welcome. The table is laden with food, but on closer inspection, the roast has a faint green sheen. The bread is crawling with subtle movement, and the wine in the glasses is thick and black like crude oil. He looks down at his own hands, expecting to see them trembling, but instead sees bloody, dismembered stumps at the ends of his wrists. He screams, but no sound comes out. Part 5. Waking nightmare. The world around Tom begins to dissolve. The walls of the dining room pulse and breathe as if they are alive. His reflection in a darkened window shows his face melting and contorting into a monstrous visage. The faces of his family members blur into screaming, abstract shapes. The sensory overload becomes unbearable, a cacophony of distorted sounds and horrifying images. Just as he feels his sanity completely shattering, his eyes flutter open. He's back in his own bed, drenched in a cold sweat. The morning sun streams through the window. Clara is sitting beside him, stroking his hair with a gentle, loving hand. Her smile is warm and reassuring. "Clara," softly, "Shh, my love, you were just having a bad dream. It's all over now." Tom stares up at her, his heart still pounding. Her touch feels real, her voice is soothing, but as his vision clears, he sees a faint, dark stain under her fingernails. The line between the nightmare and reality blurs into nothing, leaving him trapped in a waking horror from which there is no escape. Scene end.